And Tony, they broke the Dallas Cowboys' hearts, in my opinion, and went with Pat Surtain II. I know that reports were that they were going to go with the linebacker the whole time, but I really, personally, as a Cowboys fan, wanted Patrick Surtain on my football team.
Well, you got to wonder how much of that Aaron Rodgers news an hour or two before the draft kind of played into their plans. I mean, would they have taken Justin Fields? Would they have taken Mac Jones? Or were they going to say, listen, let's just try and negotiate, see if we can trade for Aaron Jones, and we'll go down our board and take best player available at positions we need? So that would be my question. I mean, Surtain fills a need. He's a big physical cornerback. He has an excellent body of work at Alabama since he was a freshman. I think he's got to show a little more polish, making plays with his back to the ball. But he's explosive. He's athletic. He's got great size, got long arms, good ball skills. I think if they use him correctly, it will be turn out to be a real exceptional pick. I think this pick looks even better if they're eventually able to pull off a trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Because, I mean, this Denver Broncos roster looks pretty good overall. They went with Javonte Williams with their second-round pick.
And a guy who is going to be relied on to be their feature runner really from day one. I mean, a downhill, grinded-out ball carrier, someone who just dishes out punishment to opponents. If you ever watch a play, he drives the shoulder pads into defenders, knocks them back on their rear end. A guy who likes contact. He's got terrific short area quickness. Not a real creative ball carrier, but is able to make defenders miss or bounce around piles. Okay pass catcher out of the backfield. I think he's going to need a bit of work on that, but really wasn't asked to do that all that much in North Carolina because he was such an exceptional ball carrier. Another real good pick by the Broncos.
Yeah, another one of those games to watch is the Miami game where I think he has a run where he bounces off 3 or 4 guys in the one run. It was incredible to watch. Another one that was incredible to watch, especially at the Senior Bowl when we really got to see him, was Quinn Meinerz, the star possibly of the Senior Bowl, exposing that stomach.
Surprised he lasted this long. I'm actually surprised that the Denver Broncos drafted him. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I mean, they got Graham Glasgow and Dalton Risner at the guard spots. Last year, they selected Lloyd Cushenberry, their center, in the 3rd round. I like Meinerz. I'm just wondering, what the end result of Meinerz in Denver is going to be, because I think Meinerz has got starting potential in the NFL. I just don't know if he's got starting potential on the Denver Broncos because they've got such terrific depth on the interior of their offensive line.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird pick when I first saw it because, like you said, great player, but you don't really see it with the depth that they have. They went with Baron Browning next, and I was surprised to see him still on the board.
Not really. I mean, he is an explosive guy. They got him behind Josey Jewell, and it's kind of ironic because if you could take Josey Jewell's instincts and intellect and put it into Brandon Browning, or you could take Brandon Browning's explosiveness and athleticism and put it into Josey Jewell, you probably have an all-pro linebacker.
Yeah.
So it's a situation where Browning's really good up the field. He's good in pursuit. He's a terrific athlete. Things seem to get a little bit hazy for him at times. If you can, if defensive-minded head coach like Vic Fangio can kind of hash that out and help him figure that all out, you're going to have a real good starting linebacker on your hands.
Could you see him maybe playing that Sam role on the outside, kind of like he did at Ohio State the first couple of years as they try to develop him?
I mean, it wouldn't make sense, especially if you're going to just send him up the field, because he is an explosive pass rusher. He's a fierce guy, very intense. I just, when I watch him on film, he seems to show a lot of hesitation with his reading and reacting and anticipating of the action, which is dangerous on the NFL level.
Definitely. They went with Caden Stearns next in round 5, the safety from Texas. And then in the same round, in round 5, they went back-to-back, and they went with Jamar Johnson, the Indiana safety.
Yeah, interesting choices here. I mean, Caden Stearns is a big-body athletic safety who flies around the football. Jamar Johnson doesn't have the same athleticism, doesn't have the same pure speed, has some off-the-field issues. I think Johnson is actually the more polished football player.
Definitely.
I think both of these guys, I think Caden Stearns has got the athleticism to play free safety, but I think Johnson actually has the intellect to play free safety. So again, be interesting to see how they use these guys. That being the case, I thought both guys were great value in round 5. I had Caden Stearns as a 4th rounder. Jamar Johnson, I thought, could slide into the late part of round 3, although there were some off-the-field issues which raised red flags as we moved toward the draft, which kind of pushed them out. But good value for the Broncos. let me just get rid of this score.
In round 6, Tony, they went with Seth Williams, the big-bodied wide receiver from Auburn. How'd you like this pick?
I mean, I liked the pick when it was made. I like the fact that, I thought Williams was more mid-day 3 value, and he went late in day 3. And I think the fact that, Deshaun Hamilton is now out this season with a non-football injury that he sustained during workouts away from the facility, make this selection look even better. I mean, Williams is a big-bodied, consistent pass catcher who wins out for the contested throws. He gets down the field. He's sneaky fast. He's not 40 fast, but he does show good, decent football speed. I thought this was an excellent pick. And as I said, it looks even better now with the injury that has since happened to Deshaun Hamilton.
Yeah, and then in round 7, they had 3 draft selections. They went with Corey Vincent Jr., the LSU cornerback safety hybrid player, and then they went with Jonathan Cooper from Ohio State, defensive end, and another defensive end in Marquise Spencer from Mississippi State.
Yeah, I think Cooper and Spencer are more guys who will compete for backup positions, will end up on a practice squad. I love the selection of Corey Vincent Jr., who opted out in 2020, which turned out to be a mistake for him.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch the 2018, even the 2019 film, Vincent Jr. was a terrific cornerback for LSU, a guy who was a playmaker, not the biggest guy in the world, but someone who I think can make an active roster in dime or nickel packages for the Broncos.
Yeah, his play speed is unbelievable to watch. What did you think about their class of UDFA guys?
They went and they got a bunch of big-bodied receivers in Brandon Mack from Temple and Warren Jackson from Colorado State, guys who I think could compete to be the 5th or 6th linebacker. Sean Byer is someone who could compete maybe for a 4th tight end position, although I don't know the keep 4 tight ends. He may end up on the active roster. But I think the big-body receivers that they took, Andre Mintz is another guy I got to mention as I'm looking at the sheet here. Mintz is a guy who at Vanderbilt was a terrific player, good pass rusher, got a lot of force up the field, not the most athletic, but if you're looking for a 3-4 outside linebacker to be your situational pass rusher or someone you have as your backup in case Bradley Chubb gets injured, somebody like that, Mintz was an outstanding signing.
Tony, once again, thank you for stopping by and dropping all of that NFL draft knowledge that you possess. Denver Broncos fans, I hope that you enjoyed this one. Goodbye.